Trump and Larry Fink flipped the system on us. Now I'm going to break down the facts, figures, numbers, logic, and how I am personally navigating through this by 2030. Since 2020, I've taken you down the whole journey on exactly what I've done. But remember, this is just my opinion. This is not financial advice. Do your own research. But I am going to tell you how this has affected my family financially and the exact patterns that I've created and what I'm going to do by 2030. You should make your own decisions. But you got to understand that Larry Fink and Trump told you that Bitcoin was a fraud. It was used for money laundering. Jamie Dimon, the same thing. It was the exact same narrative. Kind of like those CNN things where you see the reporters say the same thing. It was this narrative from 2017 heavy up until 2023. Now I'm going to take you back to 2009. I'm going to try to do this as quick as possible because I only have 10 minutes. I know that's a long time for you, but if you pay attention, most of you won't make it till the end. It's very important to understand this. It's 2009. Bitcoin was created right after the biggest financial collapse in history, in our living history, the US housing collapse. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa came together to de-dollarize because of the West's irresponsible management of our banking system. It's right there on their website. Their job, they were wanting to detach from the Western dominance of the dollar, which is fiat, fake. We use it to weaponize other countries to control their monetary system. In 2009, this is really important, write this down, Bitcoin is created by a pseudonymous person who created a code that basically has, it's just energy that has a fixed supply of 21 million. It cannot be printed. It's going to be mined for 116 years, 450 a day is mined, and it has now become one of the most scarce assets in the world. Now it's being touted as digital gold. 2012, Rosie Rios, who sits on the board of directors for Ripple, hint Ripple, XRP, was told she's the 43rd treasurer of the United States, last person to sign a $100 bill. This is how I make my financial decisions, not riddlers, not hype, not bullshit, off of facts, figures, numbers, logic. So in 2012, she was told to reduce coin and cash usage, but she couldn't, she said, because Obama turned the rescue plan on, and that turned the printing machine on full blast. And she said, you need a shock to the system to change consumer behaviors. Well, we all together went through a shock in the system in 2020 to 2022, the pandemic, worldwide shock to the system. A small example is my mom went from writing checks, still balancing her checkbook, baby boomer, going to her local bank every Friday, to her bank shutting down, to using online banking, to investing in cryptocurrency. You need a shock to the system to change consumer behaviors. Pay attention, this is deeper than people think. She was told to reduce coin and cash usage. She said she was responsible for signing the last $100 bill and responsible for bringing in a new wave of currency. She sits on the board of Ripple, which created XRP. Then XRP came around 2012, 2013, which created distributed ledger technology. XRP, one of the greatest technologies to transform the broken fiat system, the broken monetary system that has so much trapped liquidity in it. So much trapped liquidity in it that is all debt. So remember, going back to the narrative, 2017 to 2023, Trump, Larry Fink, told you Bitcoin's used for money laundering. Trump in 2019 said it's like thin air. But in 2023, they flipped. Trump said around 3 years ago, through his sons, he started investing in cryptocurrency. Larry Fink in 2023, ironically, changed the tune. He said it's a flight to quality and is a good place to go if you're worried about your country debasing your currency. That's what he said. And then all of a sudden, by 2024, he launched IBIT, a BlackRock ETF for Bitcoin. It is now their #1 ETF for their company. They're now the #2 holder in Bitcoin in the world. BlackRock is the largest asset manager in the world. Larry Fink sits on the board of trustees for the World Economic Forum and is the interim head of the World Economic Forum when Klaus Schwab stepped down. I don't know where he went. And all of a sudden, we have this massive flash crash on Friday, October 10th, 2025. And then all of a sudden, 48 hours later, 60 Minutes puts out a video with Larry Fink in it. Where in the beginning of the video, we're talking about the flash crash of 1929. And then Larry Fink talks about, again, Bitcoin is a good alternative investment. And the public and private sector or private investments. Key, you have to change your strategy. You don't have to, I did. So I don't believe hype or riddlers. Remember when you go down the chase the white rabbit in Alice in Wonderland? And the caterpillar says what? It's you. It's you. You're chasing your tail, man. They have us chasing our tails, chasing the white rabbit as they're changing the system over here. So anyways, I digress. So Bitcoin is created in 2009 by a pseudonymous person. And now Bitcoin, just so you know now, Forbes says Trump is now one of the largest Bitcoin investors on the planet, owning an estimated 870 million in Bitcoin. Larry Fink is a #2 holder in Bitcoin through his BlackRock IBIT ETF, Bitcoin ETF. Trump has World Liberty Financial. They have the fastest growing stablecoin, USD1. Bo Hines stepped down, connected to Trump, went to bring Tether, a foreign stablecoin company, into the US, which runs 90% of the stablecoin market. And what do they use to balance out stablecoins one-to-one? Bonds, US Treasuries. The bond market was collapsing. So they saved the bond market by using stablecoins. They put Bitcoin as a strategic reserve. We're going to use Bitcoin to shrink the balance sheet, our debt, in half by 2045, Cynthia Loomis says. They're going to grow our way out of this economy. My opinion is those who hold the Bitcoin, those who hold the deflationary assets like XRP, and understand the systematic switch and own the picks and shovels, own the system. Here's the facts, figures, numbers, logic. People lost 24% of their purchasing power in the US dollar from 2020 to 2024. I transmuted my cash, into deflationary assets like XRP and Bitcoin that have fixed supplies. My XRP and Bitcoin, you make fun of me all day, my XRP went up 800%, so my cash transmuted into XRP, trash commuted it into Bitcoin, my top two holdings. My Bitcoin went up 200% and my XRP went up 800%. So you lost 24% of your purchasing power. But you see $100,000 in your bank account. I see this. $100,000 was 24% less purchasing power. I transmuted my money into an asset that has a fixed supply that they can't print that will grow over time. So it's not about investing in XRP and Bitcoin, it's about understanding inflation and how it's a silent tax that erodes your buying power every single year. About 2 to 3% inflation every 35 years, your money gets cut in half. So if you don't understand how to invest, you don't understand how to beat the hurdle rate, you're getting poor every single year by doing nothing. So why do you think Trump now is one of the wealthiest people in Bitcoin? Why do you think Larry Fink is a number 2 holder in Bitcoin? Why do you think Trump created a blue chip crypto with Solana, XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, CRO? Why do you think they created World Liberty Financial, a DeFi platform that's a cryptocurrency platform, a decentralized banking? I don't know, guys. You can keep going down the rabbit hole, believe riddlers and all this stuff, or you can just keep getting played by the system. It will always be the same. It's nothing new under the sun. The monetary system has always been the monetary system. There's winners, there's losers. And the person who doesn't identify or attach to this and sees it as energy and tools understands this is all temporary. Win in the end. So here's my prediction. By 2030, Bitcoin will be most valuable assets to hold and most scarce assets in the world. Tokens like XRP will radically transform the financial system. It's not a zero-sum game. There'll be many others that do the same. I'm not holding Ethereum, but Ethereum is going to be part of the infrastructure in the banking system. There's a reason why I don't hold Ethereum. Watch the documentary XRP Unleashed Rick from the start. But I think it'll probably be one of the worst financial decisions I ever made closing out of it. But I do own a Solana. So my top 3 are XRP by a long shot, Bitcoin and Solana. Those are my top 3. My top 7 are XRP, Bitcoin, Solana, XLM, WFI, HBAR, and VeChain. Those are mine. You got to decide what you want to invest in. But I'm not just in crypto. And cash generating dividends that pay me a large amount, and I de-risk back into more XRP and Bitcoin. I love cash value life insurance. Nobody can touch it. And I can use proper leverage, unlike all the people that got wrecked on Friday, at low percent, no liquidation risk, at 5% to beat the hurdle rate to buy assets that multiply and cash flow to pay it off. That's the right type of debt. I de-risk. I don't sit there and watch my crypto go up and down. These influencers are convinced you lock up all your crypto and just borrow against it all the time. You should pull profits. That's just what I do. You should build a fortress around, okay? Diversification is key. Inside an asset class and outside of an asset class. But don't go too deep. Get really, really, really tight. Build a system. Be disciplined. Be consistent. Don't play games with your money. And don't let other people play games with your money. Love you guys. Warriors, rise. Get your shit together. God bless you.